Chainsword Diaries is coming to you from Immortals Inc Studios. Hey, welcome to the Chainsword Diaries. This is TCD Matt. We got TCDG and TCD Jeff. We're talking 40K this week. We're talking list building.
What up?
What's going on?
So we're talking list building today. We're breaking it down, how you look at building a good list, what goes into that, what detachments are, and how you can use that to your advantage when you're coming to the tabletop. Breaking down last week's battle report and letting the people know what happened in our first beatdown.
Ugh. I had him. I had G. I had him on the ropes. He had one model left.
You never had anything.
Oh, you kidding? You fail a couple more saves, it's game over, dog.
I was a contender. I was supposed to be some. No, never had me.
Hey, well, let's rewind. He did say he was going to leave me with one model left, and it was actually the other way around. To be fair, you did get the card that you score just for being Grey Knights, and you did get 3 points on it.
I think the card literally said, if G is Grey Knights, give him 3 points. Which is kind of a dick move by GW, I gotta say, but you know.
It was I mean it is what it is.
You know, and then I will get into the list later, but even with my misbuilding the list, not completely optimizing it, I still felt confident because of the psychic phase. You guys know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't table you, and I didn't leave you with one character. You only brought one character because I didn't realize Apothecary. Yeah, it's a character, but you know, I victory was for sure gonna be mine. It was just
it came down to Grandpa coming out of the rocking chair, and
I put him out of his misery.
Yeah, you did kill him. I was real sad about that. I just think that not Grey Knights, but Marines versus Marines, no matter the chapters, it's probably a little even or balanced. Sure. But when it's Grey Knights against pretty much all the Marines, I feel real good about that.
I don't know, man. I mean, if, again, like, you don't draw that one card, the Grey Knights card, and, I mean, you're talking about a 3-point swing. I only lost by, 4?
Yeah, 4 overall. And, again, one model on the table.
If the game would have continued, I would have tabled you.
But I rolled that 2.
That's right.
And the game ended.
I
roll 6s when I need to, and I roll low when I need to.
Yeah, he's got the dice on the string. So
got those flying high like a G6 rolls. I tell you.
Oh my gosh.
It was pretty bad. I gotta say, but you know, it was fun to watch, fun to be a part of.
It was fun to watch.
It was fun to play for sure.
I had a good time watching. So.
You know, it's really the humility that you bring to the table that holds us together, G.
I do not have time for humble pie. I do not.
He's got a shit ton of time for some brag cake, though.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
He's allergic to humble pie.
I am allergic to that. I don't know what's in it. I don't want to know.
You want to be a part of it.
You know?
I think it tastes like old yams.
Yeah. All right, so, yeah, I'm just, Grey Knights don't apologize for being Grey Knights. we were selected by the Emperor to be this good. So goodness. I'm sure you'll win one in the future.
Wow, man!
So
I've beat him before. So.
Speaking of the future, Jeff, I think I got a little something for you.
You do.
I think I got about 100 bodies coming your way.
I'm not. I get it. It's a lot of guys, but I'm gonna bring a lot of guns. So.
Well, but no, Jeff, I'm bringing orcs. I'm bringing a lot of pain. I got a war boss. I got a weird boy, and I think I'm gonna bring the vulture, man. I think he's coming out of the sky.
What's the vulture?
We're bringing in a little special action with Storm Boys with
Zagstruck.
Zagstruck, that's right. Zagstruck is coming down. Okay. I got a little custom model going. I still need to paint him up, but yeah. I think he's
orcs and Jeff, what are you bringing to the table?
Shocker! I'm bringing Dark Angel.
Oh my God! I'm gonna root for the orcs.
Hey, we're doing the remake of Battle of Pacina 4.
Battle of Pacina 4, indeed. And I think I need an obligatory glasses push just to make it a little Pacina 4. We are keeping it real.
That's right.
So Piscina in Spanish is pool, so like, is this a kiddie pool fight? Is that what's happening?
Wow, CG, this is why we always root against you.
I am a jerk. I see that now.
Anytime time you got to jab, you make that jab whenever it's possible.
Yeah,
Got it.
Hey, I respect it. You know, it keeps us
you
going.
got to stick and move.
That's
Stick and
right.
move.
That's right. That's right.
So let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the 40K world. We're looking at this week. This weekend, we're seeing the new Death Guard hotness, bringing a little Mortal Wounds to the table. Mortarion looking big and bad.
Mortal Wound Mortarion. That's right.
That's right.
The whole army.
The whole army is
The whole
Mortal
army.
Wound.
Yeah. Mortal wounds for days.
Mortal Wounds, get some free cover saves with the tanks because, 5-up feel no pain isn't enough. You get to have Marines with 2-up coming across the table.
That's right.
Armor
yeah.
saves.
That's right. Terminators. Well, it sounds like G is turning a little heretical here. He's no longer
He's
Grey
abandoning
Knight
the
Golden
Emperor.
Boy.
Say it ain't so, G.
Yeah,
Say it so.
No,
Say it
no,
ain't so. That was quick.
I'm fully embracing Death Guard. I got touched by
Nurgle.
Nurgle.
You're
And,
fully embracing Papa Nurgle.
my uncle Nurgle. No, because his grandpa and Uncle Nurgle.
Uncle Nurgle?
So,
Yeah,
that
those
one
two can't
uncle
be
that comes
related.
to the party,
Yeah.
And they look insane. They fit my game style. Like when I used to play Magic, I used to like the grindy games where you just beat them slowly every round, every move. Just I destroy one of my lands to blow up one of his lands, that sort of thing. And this Death Guard looks real good.
Oh man, those models it makes me want to play Chaos.
I gotta say.
I don't know if I could afford it, but I do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting a couple nasty looks now talking about buying new models myself. So we're both going to have to play vicariously through G's new Death Guard.
That's right. That's right.
Death Guard
That's
love.
fine. That's fine. It's all for the channel. Everybody can play it. Just don't touch my Mortarion, but everything else. It's fine. So that's right.
So list building, guys. We got this whole topic coming in. This is really something that came to the fore. We just had Nova happen this last weekend, and it was really we saw two armies that took big advantage of how they built their lists and used that to push themselves to the top of the tournament. We had a really heavy Elysian drop squad list with Andrew Gagnon that won. He ended up with, I believe the list had 12 command points. He took the full three detachments that he was available to take in the Nova Open, and that really changed the game for him.
What were the three that gave you so many points?
So he took three. I believe he took 3 brigade detachments.
I thought he took one that had the 5 Word Vein Psychers in it. Doesn't that a Supreme Command detachment? Or
What-
something?
You're
army-
right.
what
You're
army
right.
is this?
But he has the HQ. It's Astra Militarum.
Astro Militarum. Okay.
Yeah.
But he took the commander that gives him 2 command points. So he did take the Supreme Command, which only gives you the 1. But again, he took his commander trait gave him an extra 2 command points, and that really kind of tipped the scales.
Yeah, 12 command points, and he had a ton of he had a ton of bodies, and then he has a ton of Psychers. So
And
My
on,
kind of guy. I like him. I really do.
and on top of it, he had I want to say it was 31 mortars.
yeah, he had a
31
ton.
shots that you did not need line of sight for.
I mean, talk about optimizing the optimal.
Yeah, that really is what it came down to.
And was it pure Astro Militarum?
Pure Astra
Yeah.
Militarum.
Yeah.
He played Elysians and then just straight up Astra Militarum. I don't think there was.
Yeah, I don't know the rules for Elysians in this edition. I haven't. I'm
The
not brushed
same type thing where you get to drop them in and deep strike with your conscripts and stuff like that. So it was just filthy.
Okay. And then conscripts, lots of them, I'm assuming.
Yeah, lots of bodies. He had over 100 conscripts that he filled the table with. There was no. He really, through list building and deployment, denied a lot of interaction to the game without being a completely jerky list like it was in 7th, where I'm a chaos player. I love chaos, but nobody liked to play the 2-up rerollable demon
Screamer
armies.
Star, yeah.
Screamer Star, where you just couldn't do anything. The other army that was prevalent at Nova, again, a great list building idea, is something that Nick Nadavati and a couple other people were bringing called Chaos Soup. And they were bringing a little bit of units that haven't seen tournament play, going all the way back to like 3rd edition. He had Khorne Berserkers, he had Plague Marines, Cultists. He had literally a little bit of everything.
Do we think that's the list of 8th edition? That's what's gonna, because the rules like that. That's how we will have to. Like we're not really super competitive yet, or maybe never. But if we decide to, do we have to like look at that and say, all right, well, I have to, bring some soup.
Well, I'm going to speak for myself here. The way, at least I approach list building, and again, so I've played through multiple editions, so the whole command point thing is new for me. So balancing that along with how I normally build lists, is I kind of like to cover all my bases. I'm sure you guys can extrapolate that from how I am outside the podcast pretty easily. I like to be prepared, so I try to make sure I can cover a lot of different things. So I make sure that I have a good mix of units, and they can, if the dude brings a lot of high wound, high toughness models, I have something to answer for it. If it's a lot of bodies, I have something to answer for it. So I guess it's trying to balance in this edition, getting enough stuff on the table that can pack a punch, but also being able to pack those command points.
So when you build a list, in fact, I'll ask both of you, when you build your list, you specifically build it to expect the unexpected and cover everything?
For the most part, I don't want to say I would be. I assume that I'm not going to be able to cover everything because
right. It would be chess.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Matt, like when you start your list, what immediately or instinctually, what starts the list?
So really what I look for is I tend to go for a unit that I'm looking to build synergy around.
Sure, I do that too.
So
yeah, that's fair.
really what I'm looking for are those units that are going to support, like for example, a list that I have a lot of fun playing. I play Chaos Slanesh, and I play Emperor's Children. So I look for things that are going to go ahead and augment my ability to use the unit that I'm building around, in this case Noise Marines, to be able to generate the maximum potential output that unit's going to create. So I'm gonna bring Noise Marines with, say, a Lucius or a Demon Prince to sit in front and in back of them, to be able to counter somebody if they're going to go ahead and charge in, to allow me to re-roll those ones without having to expend those command points, and in some instances allow me to shoot again or get +1 wounds.
Okay, so then because you're building off synergy first, you're not really thinking about your opponent as much, or what they're bringing, like Jeff is.
Yeah, I'm more focused on what my opponent would do.
But you're more like, as long as my thing works, as long as my ingredients are correct, I should be able to beat this or that.
Right, and really I tend to look to force my opponent to have to deal with me and try and overbalance to one specific area to make them, whether it's to make them have to deal with it, whether like it is with Noise Marines, an extremely high volume of fire, and it helps. When I'm playing 40K, I try to shore up my weaknesses in the game. There are a lot of times where I'm not seeing all the opportunities on the table, so I minimize the decisions I have to make by maximizing one specific area.
Okay.
What about you, G?
Well, I really, right now, just because I'm at the start, I build it.
I feel like
offense heavy in reactive. So.
Okay. I feel like you like to dictate how to play, though. Like
I do want to set the pace early.
I do.
A good defense is a strong offense.
Yeah.
I want to maximize my psychic powers, and I'm specifically talking about Grey Knights, but even other stuff, I guess. I want movement, and I want to be able to react to what they're doing. But command points is actually what I look at. Like that, we could talk about that further, but that's what I look at immediately when I'm building a list. Mm-hmm. I need to bring 6 to 9, period.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, it's strategy. Yeah.
And that's really kind of three different outlooks to Jeff's three different outlooks to list building, all of which can generate success in the tournament, and it really, or even in a fun environment. Not everything's about tournament play. It ends up for some pretty balanced games between the three of us. There are times where Jeff's reactive style can get G's over aggressive lists to commit to where he can get you down to a model or two. But on the flip side, G's able to bring that quick outburst of points to make it very difficult to be able to
Yeah.
respond
That's
to
fair.
all those.
Yeah.
And in my instance, what I'm looking to do is I again try to play to the mission as much as possible,
Sure.
but I'm using one phase of the game to kind of emphasize my style of play for that entire list.
Okay, and then for Nova, what was the play style? Like, what these armies were built for those missions. So what's an example of that?
So Nova uses a different style of mission than what we're seeing in a lot of major tournaments, which is the ITC format. Nova has its own style of missions where you get to choose either a static mission objective, then there's a list of 3 that you can pick off of, or what are called progressive objectives, where you're playing to objectives on the table and you can score them each round to a maximum of a given point. Using an army like, say, Ganyo's, where you're spread off across an entire length of table. If you're using progressive, you can guarantee yourself the full 12 points because they're not going to be able to kill those 120 bodies.
Is the deployment style at random, or is it hammer
Deployment
anvil?
style is at random. No, I take it back. Deployment style is generally per round. One round will be hammer and anvil. One round will be.
So it's already set. Like
Oh,
you can't.
okay, it's set. Okay.
But you are going to end up play. It's
You'll
not,
play different ones throughout the tournament.
Right.
Just in that round, you'll like round
But
one is.
do you
for
know
everything.
ahead of time though? Like
I think you do.
you know,
don't
You know
do
the
they
day
tell
of.
You the day
Oh,
of.
the day of.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I mean, but do you know when you're building your list, or I've already brought it, and then I show up and I look at the deployment?
They're going to tell you. I mean, there's really not much mystery as far as what the deployment styles are. They haven't gone to the full. What is it? 9 that are available in
There's
the
6.
6. Okay. I keep assuming the additional from the narrative missions as are.
I see what you mean.
But yeah, so they haven't used those. They haven't used those to any effect yet. But they use the 6 mission styles, and it's an 8-round tournament. And the other unique thing about Nova as a tournament, and we're not always going to talk about tournaments, guys. This is just kind of getting into a little bit of how the game's played, and for those of you who don't get to make it out there, giving you ideas to bring to your own tabletop, your own clubs, and things that you can really bring to this. But Nova has a 4-round qualifier where you're playing against kind of pairings as they come up, and depending on how you do in those first 4 rounds, they separate you into individual brackets. And it's up to as many as I believe they had 12 brackets for Nova of 8 people each.
I think that sounds about right.
Yeah. And then the nice thing about that is if you win your individual bracket, you don't have to win the whole tournament to win prizes back. You just win your 16-man pod.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So then, how do we translate that, which is a competitive end, into the more casual, fun, playing your buddies? Do you not just bring the soup lists, and do you build differently?
Well, I definitely when I got ready to play in a major tournament, I had a friend. I played with a friend who was definitely did not enjoy the competitive side of 40K at all. This was his release. He didn't want to have to come every week thinking about what the newest, hottest thing was. He wanted to just chill out and play with his friends. So what I ended up doing was kind of making an agreement with him that we would split our gaming time, because I knew that I needed to get prepared and play to that hardcore style. And he was a really good player. It's not like he couldn't play that way. It's just not what he enjoyed.
Sure.
But we had that social gaming contract to be able to say, this week we're going to play friendly. I'm going to bring something fun. I'm going to play something goofy. I'm going to play, this was 6th edition. I'm going to play all Chaos Space Marines even though they suck and see if I can win. And then the next week I would do a tournament practice list and give him something that I thought was going to be at the tournament and let him play that. And then we'd practice that out. Jeff, I know that you've done a lot of tournaments here. How do you balance that competitive versus?
So I'm going to be honest. The lists that I build are normally not super competitive. I don't try to maximize the hottest thing out or anything like that. So being as I do play a lot like take all comers kind of a thing, I do mix in a lot of non-competitive units and things like that.
Like bikes?
Like bikes, yeah, exactly. So
Don't be mad because he misses that 4-up cover save.
that's right. I do miss that 4-up cover save. But yeah, like I feel like my list when I do play in tournaments, I do think about it more. Like I do think about, okay, like how can I, make this list more optimal or something like that. But to be honest, most of my lists are generally the same from casual to tournament. And I don't know. I'm kind of a man of principle. I try not to just play something just because it's good or just because it's like really, it's the best thing out there right now. I just like to play stuff I like. I mean, I was playing Deathwing Terminators all throughout every edition I've played, and haven't been good until, I mean, they're okay now, but
those are your favorite. So
Right.
like everybody has their favorite that they
Sure.
just bring. But you're okay with playing
bikes.
other than the tricycles. Like you're okay with playing units that are not optimal or not like the best, but
Right.
they're still flavorful.
I
and
like them.
fluffy.
Yeah, I think I like to play tournaments and I like to do that stuff. I like to play competitively. I don't want to say I'm an ultra competitive player, but I do like to do that from now and again. But I do like to stick to the fluff of, the Dark Angels have a mix of Ravenwing, Deathwing, power armor, all that stuff. I like to stick to that still too. Like I don't try to just like just because something's too good. So that's why I'm able to kind of mesh with both groups, so to speak.
As a new player to this, what's funny about the list is my buying habits. I will not buy something because I was like, I'm never gonna run that.
That's fair.
It's kind of
That's
weird.
fair.
Like, but I can see people like, oh, this is all part of this army, part of this chapter, so I'm gonna purchase them.
Sure.
Like I'll never get the bikes. I'll never get.
G swears, I mean, they do it. They're not 1-wound models.
No,
They're
no,
2-wound
I know, but we can talk on our own about that. I see them as a disadvantage, but like with Death Guard, I don't know what I'm gonna buy yet to build the list. Like I know I like the way they play. I like the mortal wounds, the strategy. Like
Sure.
I'm in love with everything they bring, but I don't know what to buy so I can, and I just don't want to buy them so they sit there. I kind of want to play with
Sure,
everything.
fair enough.
So
That's fair. Yeah.
that's where I'm coming from as a new guy. Like, oh, what do I buy this week? Or maybe I buy nothing this week.
See, I'm actually really excited for Death Guard and seeing you play Death Guard G because obviously, for people who don't know, G was a pretty damn good Magic player. He was very competitive, played in some big tournaments, did okay, and he's gone around and he's a competitive player. And like we talked about when we were doing his battle reports or on the stream, G comes at things from a very analytical point of view. So he's able to, even though as a new player, he's able to pick apart a codex and see this is optimal. Option A is better than option B, and it's always going to be better than option B. Why am I ever going to play option B?
I look for combos immediately. What can I combo and like break? So I look at the game like, oh, this is how you play the game. These are the rules. And then how do I break them? It's like a designer. You have to learn the rules before you break them as a graphic designer.
Right,
You have to justify doing things, and that's how I look at it. Like, that's why I don't play with single wound models anymore.
Yeah, you find things to leverage, and you leverage to the max, and that's how you win in this game because it's all based on dice, so it's not a sure thing. So if you leverage something that gives you the most chance of success, you're gonna do well.
But I think that I'm seeing for the first time with the Death Guard, like you said, it's not just the game side that you're falling in love with here. We've talked about off air when we're going through pictures and stuff. You're talking about the actual models and I think it's appealing to the artistic side of you as well.
Yeah, they look so good. So good. It helps that because if they look like My Little Pony, no offense to bronies, if they look like My Little Ponies with scythes, I would not be buying them. But
oh my goodness!
But they look awesome. The rules play awesome, and they seem like a real grindy type of thing. So
I'm curious to see how they play because like I've witnessed like the first of just out of the starter box,
the Poxwalker spam,
the Poxwalker spam and stuff like that, and I felt it was real slow. Now I didn't really get a chance to play it like against. Like in a super Maelstrom mission, I just played it in a couple narrative missions against a couple people, and it just felt slow, and it was easy to shoot off the board. So I'm curious to see how they shake out with the extra rules and stuff like now, because I feel like they didn't have a ton of their own rules, at least out of the index. So
Well, what we've seen a lot coming from that is because they didn't get bumps in the codex, people kind of left them behind when the Chaos Codex came out. But when you combine the fact that you can take an ally, a Nurgle Chaos unit that's not necessarily Death Guard,
that's
or
fair.
even bring
Yeah.
just regular sorcerers in the Death Guard unit, they can take warp time.
There you
And
go.
the slowness goes away real quick when you move twice.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm probably gonna do that. I'm gonna do that.
Because I was gonna say that's the one thing that they're tough. Like they get a bunch of like the disgusting and resilient. They get all that, the extra toughness and all that. But at the end of the day, like toughness 5, 1 wound model like a Plague Marine.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I agree with both of you guys, and it's funny because like how I'm gonna play.
Wait. G is agreeing with me
I do.
on something involving
do.
strategy at 40K. Let's take a note there.
That's why like you have to play with half your army on the table and the other half in Deep Strike.
Okay.
And that's why I always play stuff that Deep Strike. So for missions, I just land on the objective or I
Right.
land on the thing I need to
It's a
kill.
freebie, yeah.
So that's why like they do move. So my Poxwalkers will move slow, but my Terminators and the other stuff will not. Plus I get to move. Assault weapons get to shoot. And I get to give out mortal wounds.
That's true. Yeah, I think the being able to do the I forget what the rule's called, but being able to shoot after advance. What did they got?
It's their Legion trait.
Yeah, that.
So
That is
Plus
that's
rapid fire at
huge.
18 inches.
That's huge.
Oh my god.
yeah,
That's huge. Yeah, that
It's-
definitely gives them, because they didn't have that in the index, so it's definitely a
Nope.
different story now.
And in addition, there are some speedy elements to the Death Guard army. You have
The
the
bloat
ability
drones,
to
yeah.
run the bloat drones and Mortarion up the field,
Sure, yeah.
cause mortal wounds while everything else is backing up behind it. They really are the first layered army in 40K.
That's exactly
Sure,
how I
that's
feel.
true.
Like that's why I really like them, because I think I can go fast or slow depending on what the mission is or whatever, because I'll send Mortarion up there with something, some bloat drones, and I'll score in the back with the Poxwalkers or whatever. It feels like it's good, It feels
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Feels good, man. So
That Nurgle's rod, it feels
yeah.
good, man.
That's what it's all about. It's supposed to, it takes Papa
like
Nurgle
showering
takes away
with,
the
like,
pain.
Irish Spring or something, right? Some sort of green soap. I don't know.
I was gonna say, you're gonna have to.
There goes
when you-
that Irish Sping
when you
endorsement.
When you go back to Grey Knights, you're gonna have to like take a couple showers after this, because you're gonna have to
I'm just
wash
not gonna
off.
tell Grandpa.
I was-
just won't tell
he's, gonna,
Grandpa.
he's gonna smell it a mile away, man.
Yeah. When you go to Grandma and Grandpa's house, you're a different person than when you're at home or with your cousins. So that's it.
That's what it comes down to. So bringing it back into topic, guys. We all love Death Guard. We all love that. So the things that you want to make sure that you're doing in the list, if I'm listening to all three of the things that we're talking about, is you want to look at Codex and see what you can optimize. That's kind of G's strength that he's bringing. Jeff says you want to take a look at what you think your opponent's going to bring, and you want to be able to mitigate those lists. And that's the advice that Jeff's giving. And I'm of the mindset that you want to pick a phase of the game that you're going to dominate. And if you can really kind of look at those three things, take optimal units, win a phase of the game, whether it's movement, shooting, close combat, take one of those psychic phase.
Whoa, guys. Psychic phase. Come on, man. I know
Second
you don't use a
shooting
psychic
phase.
phase.
It's second
It's
shooting.
the second shooting phase.
Yeah,
That's
no.
insane.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I use a little bit of psychic. It depends, I dabble.
What is psychic in your?
I Demon Prince.
What
I
do you
use
do,
Demon
Matt?
Prince.
What would you say you do here, Matt?
What do I shoot? I shoot a lot of bullets. I make pew pew noises.
Matt, why are you here? Tell me about your
Explain.
It all started with my mother.
Because I was gonna say like, oh yeah, you're Helldrakes, but they don't.
No psychic.
They take my psychic, but that's
right. Yeah. No, I really what it comes down to is I like to dominate the shooting phase, and I use my psychic to do so.
I mean, this is a shooting phase game, so
That makes sense from In orc. Oh no, that does not make sense.
No.
Never mind.
Orc
Not at
shooting.
all.
Terrible, right?
Yeah, orc shooting
No,
is either
okay.
really hot.
I thought
or
they shot a lot, but no,
They do.
they attack a lot.
They do shoot a lot too
They
because you
shit
got a
a
lot
lot.
of
They still
bodies.
can shoot a lot. I mean, a lot of models they're going to
They,
shoot a lot.
no, they
still.
shit a lot. That's
No.
Mushrooms don't shit. I don't know what you're talking about here, guys. So no, but really, what we're saying is take those 3 things to heart when you're building a list, and maybe it'll help you win a couple games.
Just stay. I would just throw in there like stay fluffy and like
Yeah. That's
if there's a
for
guy
sure.
at your local group who brings Gilliman to the table, then
Roberto.
Roberto's tough to beat. So just be ready, have some las cannons and stuff. But I don't know.
Meet them outside after
or
the
just
game.
be actually, or just be okay, or just be okay with losing.
That's true.
Yeah.
You got to be able to learn how to lose in this game too, because I mean, you can do everything right in this game and still, I roll ones probably more than statistically average. So
It's funny. I was gonna actually ask you, because you roll so poorly, is that part of your list building? Because you bring Belial or whoever.
I was gonna
with
say
you,
I
right?
do try to maximize, like in this edition, I do try to maximize rerolls as much as possible because, like, you definitely need to get mileage out of the units that you pay points for. Especially with Belial, with he gets Deathwing rerolls, it's like those Deathwing Terminators are super expensive points wise. So if they're not doing what I paid the points for them to do,
It's
he
a long
really
day.
shows.
You're fired.
You're for-
You terminated Deathwing. You're fired.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I'd ever not play them, but yeah, I like to get mileage out of them for sure.
Well, guys, I think we've covered a lot of bases here. I think we're looking at a lot of different ways for people to take a look at their lists, and I feel again like we've reached a spot where it's time to call it a night. And so, guys, you have anything else you want to kick back to the fans?
Just for the fans, let us know when you build a list, what's the first
Yeah.
thing you look at?
What
So
do you
that
guys,
way,
what do you think about?
yeah, what do you build when you start building? What do you look at first, and what do you build around? I guess your foundation.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing? The fans can get a hold of us on Facebook at the Chainsword Diaries, on Twitter at the Chainsword, Instagram at the Chainsword Diaries, and we've even got a YouTube channel, which is where you're watching it right now. Put something in the comments. Let us know
Absolutely.
what your
Yeah.
list building style
Please,
is.
write it right in the comments, and then it'll be something we can talk about in the later episodes. Kind of do like a fan mail thing or answer questions.
Or tell us how wrong we are.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong, or tell me why you hate me because I'm a Grey Knight player. Fine.
Tell us why you hate bikes so much.
This is
Bikes get a lot of hate. I don't know why.
Yeah, in here in this room especially, I tell you, G is not a bikes fan. We've got a bunch of new stuff coming for you. We've got podcasts coming at you every week. We've got battle reports coming up. We're streaming. We're doing everything we can to get the love of the game to you. So
Sure.
Yeah, we're growing, and we need all the help we can get.
Absolutely. Yeah, we need your help. People's hero needs your help.
The people's hero and his bikes need your help.
That's
He
right.
needs somebody to push him, so that way he doesn't.
when they
need
run
to-
out of gas,
So when you take the training wheels off and you got to give your kid
y'all
that little
hating on
push.
the Rough Riders, man. You're just hating. Stop, drop, shut them down, open up shop. Let's go.
all right,
that. I
let's
like
go.
that.
All right, guys. So for tonight, I think we're gonna call it a night, guys.
All right, guys, have a good night.
Hey, I don't speak for the people. I just fight for them.
That's right. That's your sign off.
That is.
Nice. I like it.
Chainsword Diaries is coming to you from Immortals Inc Studios.